Okay, friends. Uh, as just now I told you why why this read record has kept it as or represent it as a hyphen hyphen here. Since it is undefined, we have made or marked it as a star here. Okay. Now we have created one list also for it. It means this address is showing, this data node is showing, this is the address of the instruction in which read record is used. Okay, so that address we have written here, that's all. Okay, next, again you keep on listing the object codes. Again you will keep on listing the object codes. Okay, so just go back to your program. You can see here, all length 0, everything is defined here. Okay, next when you come to line number 30, again one more instruction is there, that is JEQ. This JEQ has a operand end file. End file is also not defined earlier. So address of end file you will get in the next lines. It means that it is using forward reference like RDREC, because RDREC is defined in line number 125. So these all are, once again, they are using forward references here, right? So these type of forward references only we have to eliminate, and how to eliminate only I am going to discuss today. Okay, so when you come to this JEQ instruction, you will find out the operand as a end file. So you have to just write the opcode of a JEQ, that is nothing but 30, and you should keep these 4 digits as a hyphen in this diagram. Okay, so 30 you have written and 4 hyphen are there. And then in your symbol table, if you observe, if you come here, end file symbol is inserted into your symbol table, and it is also marked as a star. What this star is indicating? The star is nothing but end file is undefined. Okay, it means that assembler does not know the address of end file, and it don't want to use forward reference. It don't want to search its address in next lines. So what it does, it created one linked list, and in this linked list what it is doing, just it is doing that it is mentioning the address of the instruction in which end file is a operand. So you go back and you just see end file is the operand of the instruction JEQ, and the address of this JEQ is 201B. Actually, up to 1B COMP instruction is loaded, and JEQ instruction will start to load into the byte 201C. Then next byte will be 201D. Next byte will be 201E. It means up to 201E JEQ instruction is loaded, or JEQ instruction occupied the bytes 201C to 201E. Okay, so that 201C we have written here in this linked list. Okay, next, once again, when you come to next line, you will once again write the object code as a 48 here, because in our program, once again you have JSub instruction. See here, immediately in the next line, in line number 35, you have once again JSub instruction with operand write record this time. Here earlier it was a JSub read record, now it is JSub write record. So assembler does not know write record address. So in fact this write record is defined here, but assembler does not want to go to this line number 210 to get the address 2062. So what it does, it simply mark this write record also as a undefined. Write record is marked as a undefined here, and 201F it has written. What is this 201F? It is the address of the instruction where write record is a operand. Okay, So you go back and you just cross check it. Okay, see here, write record is operand for JSub instruction and its address is 201E. Up to 201E JEQ is there. So JSub will start from 201F. So 201F is there. Okay, so that diagram whatever I was showing you, that diagram had drawn when we have scanned first 60 lines, sorry, first 40 lines. It means here up to here, first 40 lines. Okay, now when you come to the line which is after immediately line number 40, the next immediate line is line number 45. When you come to line number 45 and almost up to 160, line number 160. So when we scan the program up to line number 160, for this one we have one more diagram there. That is the continuation diagram of the previous diagram. Okay, don't worry. When you come to line number 45, you will come to know that the definition of end file. Okay, this end file you had marked as undefined, no? Now you got a definition of end file. Its address is 2024. So what you do, you will go to that diagram immediately and you continue this diagram here like this. Okay, so immediately what you do, 2024, right? 2024 here, here, end file, correct? This end file, earlier it was marked as a star or undefined. Now you will write its address here. It means its value, symbol value. This is the hash table, no? You know, these data structures, OP tab and symbol tab, sim tab have designed in or structured as a hash table. So hash table always have a key value pairs, key value, key value. So that is nothing. Key is a symbol here, value is nothing but address of that symbol. So end file is a symbol and its address is 2024. Now what happens? Now like this, if you go to program back and just keep on scanning your program like this, program like this, program like this. When you come to line number 65, you will get JSub. Okay, once again you are getting JSub, remember. Okay, this is the third time you are getting JSub. Earlier it was JSub read record, then for the second time it was JSub write record. Once again JSub with write record is here. So again assembler does not know what is the address of write record, correct? So what it does, it makes write record as undefined once again. Okay, so just observe it's a previous object code here, that is 0C 100C. After that it will write only 48 and it will not write these 4 digits. It will mark them as a dash 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 in that diagram. If we go and observe here, see 03 is there, sorry, 0C 100C is there. Next it has written only 48. Next it has kept it as a blank here, dash. Okay, and the same should be reflected in a symbol table. So already write record was defined as undefined, or marked as undefined. Now once again it is appearing in your program. So you just continue that linked list. You create one more node here. You create one more list here like this. And here what is there? 2031 is there. What is this 2031? This is the address of the instruction where write record is appearing as a operand. You go back and if you observe here, this write record address is 2031. Okay, not address of write record, address of JSub instruction 2031. It means that from 2031 onwards JSub write record should be present. It means in that 3 bytes this instruction should be loaded. Okay, but in that instruction I know only value of this JSub. I don't know the value of this operand. Clear? So like this, if you scan your program like this, keep on coming, and when you come to line number, 125, when you come to line number 125, you come to know that read record is defined here with the address 203D, and you go back, and you update your symbol table like this. Read record, earlier it was defined as, it was marked as undefined, now you are writing its address here. Clear? So like this, you will keep on continuing that table or in that diagram. So next, what you do, when you come to line number 155, line number 155, in line number 155, what happens here? Once again, JEQ is there, and operand is exit, and exit should be marked as a undefined, because exit is not defined here earlier anywhere. Exit is defined here in line number 175, but right now I am in line number 155. So exit, you should mark it as undefined. So for that, you will write only 30. Next remaining terms, you will keep it as a dash. Okay, just it's a previous opcode you just observe, then it is easy for you to find out in that diagram. That is 281006. Okay, 281006 is here opcode. So object code here. So next object code is only 30, and next 4 digits are kept as a blank here. What it indicates? So exit is marked as, or marked as undefined here, and its address is 2050 here. What is this 2050? It is the address of the instruction in which exit is a operand. Are you understanding what I am explaining? Exit is a operand in which instruction? In JEQ instruction, and JEQ exit will start to occupy the memory space from the byte 2050. After 204F, what will come? Definitely it is 2050. Next byte will be 2051, next byte will be 2052. Okay, so these 3 bytes will be occupied by this JEQ exit instruction. Next, when you scan line number 160, STCH is there and buffer is there. So this buffer is already defined here, so there is no any problem. Okay, so you will write this object code as it is there in your diagram, 54900F. And that diagram, whatever I am showing you now, that second diagram, it is nothing but it is a continuation of first diagram. And the first diagram was written for the scanning of your program up to line number 40. And second diagram is drawn or written here for the program scanning up to the line number 160. And program is not completed here. Remember, program is continued up to line number 255. Like that, it is your responsibility to continue that diagram. Okay. Okay. So when you come to line number 210, once again, you will come to know that the definition of write record. Okay, like this, you should keep on continue that diagram. And right now we will stop that diagram here only. That is after scanning line number 160. What is the object code here? 54900F. See here, 54900F. We stopped here only. Okay. Now, so when here you should remember, this is the diagram for scanning of the program, only line number 160. Okay, but after that one line number 160, I have shown you somewhere write record is defined there. At that time, what you do, you will remove these forward references. It means you will remove these linked lists. and you will write the value of write record here, that is address of write record here. Okay, somewhere you will remove this exit as a forward as a undefined. It means in your program somewhere you will get the definition of exit, then you will remove this forward reference. Okay, so like this you have to remove these all forward references. It means you should remove these stars in this value column. Okay, why here they have written exit as unmarked here? Just let me to see here. Ah, okay, so that exit was already marked it as here in line number 155. Exit was already marked as a undefined. That only it is. Okay, no problem. So these all forward references, and these all forward references we have to eliminate. Okay, now for that we have one algorithm. Okay, very simple algorithm. Once again, don't worry about it. So already whatever the pass 1 algorithm, pass 2 algorithm you have written the same concept again here. Only some minor changes will be there. Just keep it in your mind. You have to consider all 6 assembler directives here. If required, you have to consider any other additional assembler directives here. That's all. But basic assembler directives are start, end, byte, reserve byte, word, reserve word. Those all are covered here or not. You just check it. And also you just check about whether you are using location counter variable or not here. You just check it. Then also you check the intermediate file or not here. That also you check it. And also you check whether you have used both the data structures or not. You check it here. Both the data structures means which data structures? OP tab and SIM tab. Okay, just come to this algorithm, read the first input line. Okay, so whatever the procedure just now I have done, that only I am going to in terms of algorithm. Just don't worry, I am not explaining you new concept. Okay, so for that process I have written one algorithm here. Just now once again briefly I am explaining it. That's all. If opcode is equal to start, then what you do? Save that operand as a starting address, initialize the location as a location counter as a starting address, read the input line. Okay, then end that if statement. Then else means what? If opcode is not start, then initialize the location counter to 0, then while loop, opcode is not equal to end. It means you have not reached the end of the statement because your program is in between start and end. So if it is not end of your program, then if there is not a comment line also, then if there is a symbol in the label field, then you have to search that label or symbol in a symbol table. Okay, then if that label is found there, then if a symbol value is null, then set that symbol value as a location counter and search that linked list with the corresponding operand. Okay, then operand pointer addresses and generate the operand addresses as a corresponding symbol values. Only this portion is new for you people. Okay, this only you should understand. So then set the symbol value as location counter in the symbol table and delete the linked list. So whenever the symbol is defined, at that time you have to remove or delete that linked list. So end else insert that label. Now you come to know that that symbol is defined. No, so you should insert that symbol into your symbol table along with the location counter. That location counter is nothing but a value column of that diagram, value column of that symbol table. Okay, you have already inserted the label or symbol, then you should insert its value also into the symbol table and end. Search that OP tab for opcode. For opcode, we have to search OP tab, then you will find out the OP tab there. Then search a symbol table for that operand address. If found, then symbol value not equal to null, then store that symbol value as operand address. Else, what you have to do? Insert at the end of the linked list because that operand is not yet defined. So you will create that linked list with a node with the address as a location counter. Okay, so that in a linked list that I was writing some address no in that data field or information field. That is nothing but it is a location counter. Next, else insert. Else means what? Symbol value is not equal to null. Okay. So then else insert. Okay. Insert that symbol name as a null. Then add 3 to your location counter. It means once instruction is defined means you have to add the length of that instruction to your location counter. End. Else if opcode is equal to word, then add 3 to location counter and convert comment to object code. Else if opcode is equal to reserve word, then add 3 into number of words you want to reserve. Okay, that is added to location counter. Then else if opcode is equal to reserve byte, add number of bytes to location counter. Else if opcode is equal to byte, then begin find the length of the constant in the bytes and add the length to location counter. These all things already you know, same things I am repeating here. Convert that constant to object code, and end object code will not fit into the current text record. Then what you have to do, this is very important, this portion, because this is helping you to write the object program. Okay, just focus here. If okay, object code will not fit in your current text record or current text record or current line of a text record, then you have to take that object code into the next text record. Begin write the text record to object program, initialize a new text record. Okay, end. Then add the object code to the text record and end. Write the listing line, read the next input line, end. Write last text record to object program, write end record to the object program, which indicates the end of the program. Write the last listing line, then end the pass one. So this is a pass one for one pass assembler. Okay, so it is not using pass 2. Since it is not using pass 2, author has not written pass 2 algorithm here. Okay, so this algorithm is very interesting. This concept is very interesting. Now let us write a object program for it. This is header record. Already I told you how to write it. Text record you will write it, and text record, if you observe your program, in line number 97, in line number 97, if you observe your program, first only 3 object codes we write here. That is 454F46, then 0003, then 0000. These 3 object codes we will write. Then the next space will be used by XXXXXX. It means cross line, cross mark. That space is used by the loader from some other reason. So don't worry about it. Because of that only we have kept it as a blank here. Okay. Next text record you initialize. Then again you keep on listing these all things. Its starting address is 0020. Okay, 0020. That is nothing but 200F it is. That is nothing but line number 10. If you go to line number 10, the address is 200F. From there, you will again keep on starting listing the object codes here up to where? 3C2012. That is line number 40. When you scan line number 40, you will stop here. Just keep the count of object codes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 into 3, 21. Okay, so 21 we have not written here. We have written only 15. Why, sir, you have written only 15? Because this is a complete object code. You count it as 3. It is not complete object code. It is only 1 here. 1 byte is here. That is 1 byte for opcode of your instruction number 3. Are you understanding why I told you in previous class? Just now, in previous session, in your instruction of SIC, first 8 bits are for opcode, that is 1 byte. Next 2 bytes I am reserving for address. That address I have thought it as a 0. So I take this as a only 1 byte. So 3 bytes plus 1 byte. 4 plus 3, 4 plus 3, 7. 7 plus 3, 10. 10 plus 1 again here. 10 plus 1, 11. 11 plus 3, sorry, 11 plus 1, 11 plus 1, 12. 12 plus 3, 15. That 15 only I have written here. Have you got how it is 15? Okay. Now, after this 2012, 3C2012, next object code, I should write it as here 00100. But I have taken it into next new text record. Why? Because in line number 45, which is using 1 minute, which is using the address 2024. Okay, 2024. What is that 2024? It is the address of end file. So actually here in previous text record, when you have written 48 here, the remaining digits you mentioned it as 0000 here or dash, correct? So that why you have written it as 0000? Because 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. You come to this portion. Okay, this portion, whatever I am showing you now. Right now, you just observe my mouse pointer. What I have written here? 30, then 4 zeros I have written. So this object code is of which instruction? This is the object code of the instruction JEQ. JEQ is in line number 30. Opcode for JEQ is 30. Next 4 digits I have kept it as a dash. So these 4 zeros values I have written here. That is, it should be 2024. It should be 2024. Sir, why it should be 2024? Because 1 byte I have written here. Remaining 2 bytes I am writing here as a 2024, which is the address of the operand end file. Address of the end file. Okay. So those 2 bytes I have represented here. The length of this object code is how much? 2 bytes. Are you getting now? So now, what is this 201C? As I already told you, okay, as I already told you, JEQ end file is in line number 30. And if you observe the address of JEQ, it is 201C. It means 201B it is actually. From address or from byte 201C, that JEQ end file instruction should be loaded along with its operand. Okay. In byte 201C, JEQ instruction will be loaded, and only how many bytes it will occupy? Only 2 bytes for the address of its operand. The already 1 byte is here, that is here. Clear now? It is already counted here in this 15. Now come to next line, next text record. Again, you keep on listing all the object codes like this, like this, like this, and somewhere you will get 480000 like this. What it indicates again? Okay, it means that again JEQ, JSub is opcode is 48, and its operand is not defined. Okay, so again come, and here you have written 4C. Okay, here there is no problem because it is only R sub. This object code is of the instruction R sub. R sub opcode is 4C, and there is no any operand, so simply I have written it as 0 here. This is not a problem here, and F1 is there. Next 0010 is there. So after that, next subroutine will start here. So not subroutine actually. Why sir you came to next line here? Because if you observe line number 125, okay, if you come to line number 125, their read record is defined. Read record is defined, and here I am writing its address. That is 203D. 203D is the address of read record, and its length is only 2 bytes. Then what about the remaining 1 byte? Uh, Upcode of JSub, everything I have written here as a 48, 48, and here 48. Okay, this is for this 48, first one, because JSub read record used only one time in your program. Okay, JSub is used with write record 2 times, that I have written here also, and I have written here also. Okay, now I solved this one, I solved this one. Now I have to solve this one and this one. Okay, just keep it in your mind. So now come to next line. Again you start, keep on listing. It means that, just understand, we are taking a new text record for undefined symbol, every undefined symbol. Next you keep on listing all the object codes like this. Then again you come to line number 210. In 210 write, sorry, not in 210, 155. In line number 155, sorry, line number 175. In line number 175, you have definition of exit. Okay, that definition of exit and its address is 205B. Then its length is 002, and where I have used exit line number GQ, that is 106. Friends, here I have written 30 zeros. So these 4 zeros, for these 4 zeros, I got this value 205B. What is this 205B? It is the address of exit operand. Its length is 2 bytes. The remaining 1 byte already I have written, which is included in this 1E. Okay. Next, it is present in the address 205F. If you can observe in line number 155. In line number 155, 204F is there, and next address is 2050. So next, after this, after line number 175, you again keep on listing all the operands, object code. Then you will stop here, and you will come to next text record here. Why again new text record? Because if you observe line number 210, in line number 210, you have definition of write record. Its address is 2062, and its length is 2 bytes, and its location is 201F. Why sir 201F? Because you go back to your location column and you come to the line number 35. There one JSub write record instruction is there. Okay, that is nothing but I think this one, sorry, this one. Okay, so this one will be replaced by this value. Similarly, JSub write record appears 2 times in your program, 2 times. That is nothing but in line number 65. Once again JSub read record is there. Because of that only I have written here 2031, again 2062, and its length as a 02 here. Okay, so it means that when you come to line number 210, you got a definition of write record. After that, what you should do is, wherever write record is appearing in your program, that instruction you should write here in a separate text records. Then again continue your text record from line number 215, from line number 215, and after that you write the end record. This is how we write the object program for one pass assembler. Very easy. If you are not getting anything, you please call me and ask me, or you send me the message in WhatsApp and you please ask me. Very interesting topics. Okay, this is the object program what we have written for one pass assembler. Now the thing is here, here. So how we eliminated these forward reference, I think you understood. So this program, this diagram, second diagram is only for the program scanning up to the line number 160. If you continue this diagram, same diagram, okay, if you want, you continue at your homework, as a homework at your home today, and now at the end of the program you will eliminate this write record forward reference, and you will eliminate this exit. Okay, like this. Once you eliminate these all forward references, it means once you remove these all linked list, and once you remove these all stars, you will come to get values in this value column, all values. Okay, at that time you should understand that I have eliminated all forward references. Then that assembler will write that object code directly into the memory, and the program will be executed directly. Correct? So this is about load and go one pass assembler. Load and go one pass assembler, because it is not using two passes. Okay, so I stop the class here today. In the next class I explain multipass assemblers. This is also very interesting. Multipass assemblers means, don't always think that assemblers assemblers use pass 1 and pass 2, or else only pass 1. Sometimes assemblers use pass 3, pass 4, pass 5 also. Pass 1, pass 2, pass 3, pass 4, pass 5, pass 6, etc. and so on. So such type of assemblers are called as multi-pass assemblers. Remember, and when we should use such type of assemblers, and what problems they will overcome, what problems they will solve, I will tell you in tomorrow's class. Okay, so today what you understood, I just came back and just briefly I revised today's class. Okay, in yesterday's or in our previous class, we were discussing about the control section. For every control section, we will write one object program, and how to write this object program I already told you. Okay, here we will insert two new records here. One is define record. In define record, we should keep on listing the external definition symbols along with their addresses. But in refer record, we will just keep on listing the symbols without their addresses. Okay, because these records have not yet defined in copy control section. So just I have written them here. I don't know what is the address of read record and write record. Okay, separately once again you write the object program for read record control section. Okay, and here also, since I don't know external definition assembler directive or statement in my read record control section, I don't write a define record here. I just write a refer record here. Again, I just keep on listing the symbols which are used in this read record control section, but they have defined in some other control section. So I don't know the addresses of buffer, length and buffer, so I have not written their addresses here. But in define, you should write the addresses of those symbols also. Keep it in your mind. Similarly, I write one more object program for write record control section. Here also I just write the symbols without addresses. Okay, but the only thing is, whenever you get the instruction format number 4, that is the instruction which is prefixed with plus symbol, you should write a modification record, and particularly you just write the operand of that instruction with its symbol or with its sign. If it is plus, you write plus. If it is a minus, you write it a minus. And already I told you what you should write here and what you should write here, what you should write here, what you should write here. Okay, so then what you have studied is very important concept, that is one pass assembler. The problem was forward reference, okay, which was present in two pass assemblers. The assemblers which were using one pass and two pass, that is pass 1 and pass 2. In pass 1 they just defined the symbols. In pass 2 they exactly translated the program to machine level. In pass 1 they had a problem of forward reference. If programmer remove this forward references or eliminate these forward references, then the assembler do not need two passes. The assembler needs only one pass to convert the assembly level program to low level program. How to eliminate these forward references now? Okay, so that only just now I explained. So this one pass assemblers, again there are two types. The first type is load and go, in which the assembler directly loads the object codes into the primary memory for execution. The second type of one pass assemblers are, they generate the object code, then they generate the object program, then they store that object program in the secondary memory, and loader will pick it and it will load into the main memory for execution. Okay, that are two types of assemblers. In that first one is load and go. That load and go uses only one pass. Okay, so this program, earlier our SIC program we modified here. It means we have written symbol definition section first, then we have written the logic of program. For every subroutine we did like this. Then we tried to eliminate the forward reference like this. Okay, in this diagram we are just written the memory addresses in this column, then object codes we are keep on listing here. Wherever a operand or symbol is undefined, we mark it as a dash, but we just write its opcode of that instruction. Okay, for operand we just make it as a undefined by putting a dash here. And the same thing when we insert that symbol into the symbol table, since we don't know the address of that symbol, we mark it as undefined here by creating a linked list. The linked list should contain the location counter. Okay, location counter. Star is what here? Location counter it is. The current value of location counter. Okay, so in this location counter, this read record should be loaded or stored. So that is indicating here. It means it is indicating forward reference. So read record is representing forward refer. Write record is also forward refer. End file is also forward refer, like this. This diagram is up to line number 40, and this diagram is up to only line number 160. So you continue this diagram at your home today and send me the diagram. Okay, so how to eliminate this forward reference? That is one algorithm is there. It means the working of one pass assembler, and it is only one pass only, that is pass 1 only. There is no pass 2 here. Okay, don't worry. In pass 1 earlier whatever you had done, you are doing same thing here, but some small minute changes are here. Linked list, creating linked list, removing or deleting linked list. etc. Okay, this algorithm we studied, and for that one pass assembler, for that SIC program, we have written object program here. Okay, in this object program we are not using any modification record, define record, or refer record. Very simple object program what you had written for the first time in this module. Okay, same object program, same type of object program we have written here. Only some care should be taken here. Whenever one symbol is defined in your program, for that statement you take a separate text record and then continue the text record with the next object codes. Keep on listing like this. And one thing you should remember here, whenever the symbol is undefined, you don't take that object code as a 3-byte object code. You just take it's a 1 byte. You count it as 1 byte. Okay, once that symbol is defined, at that time you can count it as a remaining 2 bytes. This thing you should keep it in your mind. Okay, so writing this text record is very important. Okay, so next, in the next class I explain you multipass assemblers. This is also very interesting point, very interesting concept. Okay, now you can leave the meeting.